Good morning, Dr. McFadden. Good morning, Jeremy. Thank you for being here on the Valder Beebe Show.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah, I really appreciate the time.
Well, it's our pleasure. Dr. McFadden, I'm going to start with you. I would love to understand, in a synopsis format, what is colorectal cancer?
So colorectal cancer is a disease of the large intestines that starts as a polyp in the innermost lining of the bowel. And if left to grow, it can get larger and potentially spread to other areas. Now, we know, and why we're here today, is that if we can find these polyps when they're earlier staged, patients can do better. We can remove these polyps and give them a better outcome.
It says in you have a report that recently came out, and because March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, you want us to know about this new report that was published by the Journal of American Medicine Association. Tell me a little about that.
Well, primarily what we're raising attention to is that more younger people are being diagnosed and unfortunately dying from colorectal cancer. In fact, it is one of the leading causes of death in this country, second leading cause of cancer death, but it's the leading cause in people under the age of 50 from colorectal cancer. And so it's alarming because people under the age of 50 may not understand that you can actually get colorectal cancer. And so that's why we want to just raise attention to the signs to look out for, the risk factors, and just encouraging people to be screened and tested. Okay,
can you tell me a little bit before I talk with Jeremy, what symptoms should not be ignored in those people under 50? And go ahead.
No, and I'll just add under 50 or any of us, if you have colorectal cancer, you, first of all, may not have any signs or symptoms, and that's the first thing that we want people to understand. The second one is that if you have any issues with blood in the stool, even just a single occurrence, or unexplained weight loss, or abdominal pain, or changes in the stool, or fatigue, those are also signs or symptoms that you need to have evaluated by your doctor.
How do you screen for colorectal cancer, or is there a screening method?
There is. There's a well-defined screening method called a colonoscopy. It's everybody's favorite test. It's a 30-minute procedure that gets you the information that you need. We can find these polyps, find these potential cancers earlier, remove them, and hopefully give you a better outcome. But there are some other options as well. You can go to getscreened.org to get information about those other options that could include stool-based tests. And it can also walk you through the timing that you should begin screening based on your own risk profile.
You talk about screening. I'm going to take this one from Instagram. The poster said, why is the screening time so long in between? It's usually about 8 to 10 years.
Well, I think it depends on a number of things. It depends on your own risk factors, such as your family history of colorectal cancer or your own personal history of problems like Crohn's disease or inflammatory bowel disease, or even if you have had polyps in the past. That may not be 8 to 10 years. It really depends on what we find and your own risk. That's why getscreened.org helps you kind of work through, along with working with your doctor, about when your next test should be. And if at all you find there are problems before you're set to come back, you should talk with your doctor to say, oh, there are some new signs or symptoms present. We may need to do something a little bit sooner.
Thank you. I'm going to talk to Jeremy just a little bit. Jeremy, I'm so very sorry about your mom, but your mom, Joanne, was diagnosed at 46, and she passed away 2 years later. What can you help us to understand?
First, thank you for the condolences. I really do appreciate it. And with that, I think there's something that a couple of points I'd make. First is, this could obviously turn your family's life upside down really, really quickly in a short period of time. My mom was diagnosed at the age of 46 and died less than 2 years later. And with that, my family really tried to turn our pain into purpose. And we launched the March 4th event, which is an annual 5K geared towards ending colon cancer in our lifetime, raising money for awareness and prevention. And the March 4th term has a dual meaning for us. It's March 4th as in moving forward, and March 4th for Joanna. But also, she died on March 4th of 2016, which is 10 years ago today. So I'd really just urge everybody to please get themselves screened.
And since the loss of your mom to this disease, you've taken up the cause, but what does your family do? Does everybody get screened? Are they more vigilant than other people, you think?
I'd say we're definitely more vigilant and get screened more often. I'm 24 years old. I've already had a colonoscopy, and I have to say it really wasn't that bad. It was a good nap. And I think that I really urge everybody to please get themselves screened, and I'll be screened every 3 to 5 years from now on.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for sharing your personal journey. Dr. McFadden, is Jeremy's story pretty normal for losing a mom at that age, or is that unique?
Well, we know that 1 in 10 people diagnosed now with colorectal cancer, they're under the age of 50. We also know that under the age of 50, when diagnosed, 3 out of 4 of those patients, they're going to be diagnosed with later stage disease. So unfortunately, it's all too common right now that we're finding it is the leading cause of death, and the slower uptake in getting colonoscopies in this age group from 45 to 50. That's the age in which we're focusing on, but just kind of encouraging folks to pay attention to those signs or symptoms and to get tested.
Okay, I'm going to take this one from Facebook. The poster said they're way out of the 50s group. They're in the 70s group. And they had polyps in their late 60s. They do a colonoscopy every 5 years. Is that on track for them?
Well, it depends. Not to evade the question, but all polyps are not created the same. If it's a precancerous polyp, it may be adequate to do it 3 to 5 years. If it's a large polyp versus a small polyp, that increases the chances that we'll do it sooner. So it really depends on what's happening on that pathology report, and talking with your doctor is the best way to go to make sure that you're doing the right test at the right time.
Thank you for that poster, and thank you, Dr. McFadden. And Jeremy, I'm going to wind up with you. I'd like to know, is there a place online for my listeners to go and get more information?
Absolutely. There are several places. Dr. McFadden mentioned GetScreened.org, which is amazing, but I would also encourage you to go to colorectalcancer.org/March, where you can find information about screening, but also ways to take action and make sure that getting colon cancer doesn't happen to you or anybody you care about.
I want to thank you for taking action, and I want to thank Dr. McFadden for answering the listeners' questions. I really appreciate that, and thanks for being my guest on the Valder Beebe Show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Hi, I'm Valder Beebe, host of The Valder Beebe Show. We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show. We upload new videos daily. Our site is a modern baby boomer platform with news and information important to boomers. Subscribe to YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show and stay connected as I interview the world's most fascinating people.